live on Instagram as well.
Yes. It won't let me yet.
Oh, there we go. It should be now. Hey guys.
Nope. Gotta get my hat on.
Oh yeah.
Hatless.
Hatless. Yeah, no, it does. It is a little surprising at first when you hop on camera and you don't have the hat yet. Not that you look bad without the hat, but it's kind of your thing, Hi, Tommy. And paratrooper pythons. Aaron Klein.
Pagoda City, Platinum Morphs, BRS Morphs.
Hi, guys.
Cultivating Constriction, King James Exotics, PD Ball Python. So several jumping in on Instagram too.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody.
Once again, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm watching Instagram. We have to do that chat separately from Facebook and YouTube. So
yeah, if you use Lace, we're working on it. I promise.
Yeah. Hopefully before too long.
Yeah. If any of you guys also use StreamYard just for your own stuff, help us bully them into like integrating Instagram. That way we don't have to. That way we can have you guys interacting. That way we don't have to separate the Instagram commenters.
Yes, that would be good.
Hi, Leviathan. Oh, for our hognose people, I brought Mothman to join us today. He is the most chill hognose I've ever met, and he's a good boy.
And he's very pretty.
He is so pretty. Hopefully we'll get eggs from him this year, but his girl is in. His giant purple girlfriend is currently in shed and also doesn't want to eat while she's in shed. So when she doesn't have a full belly, he does not get paired up. Not that she's ever like shown any temptation to eat him, but he's too perfect. I don't want him to get eaten.
You never know with hogs.
I know, so risky. He's a pretty boy.
The only time I've had that problem was with gray-banded king snakes. I left the hatchlings together a little bit too long. One of the hatchlings ate another, and it killed both of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, poor buddy. Hi, Silver Scale Exotics. And there's Matt Kriego. Hey.
And I am putting together some live results. Quite a few live results we'll have for Black Rock balls. So
awesome.
I've almost got them all put together.
Sounds good.
Any of the rest of you, if you have some you think might be being updated today, let me know and we can give them to you live on the show.
Yeah. Monsoon update. I know we're still hunting for monsoon. That's become the latest holy grail for basically everyone who's doing like morph testing in general. Like it is a worldwide hunt for monsoon. Everybody's pooling their data to try and get monsoon. So as far as I know, that one is still being hunted down, but as soon as one of us has it, everybody will have it because everyone's pooling their data just to find monsoon.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Oh, yeah. I need a monsoon and monarch. Yeah, monarch's another one we're hunting for, too.
Yes, and I'll be getting a whole bunch more data again sometime in the next week or two. So,
oh, fingers crossed. Maybe this will be the one.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
We've also updated some of the things the way we do things to make them more efficient and better, faster, more robust. So each time we do it, we're getting better and faster and more likely we'll get it. So
yeah. Claymore Royal says they should have two results. One is a what is this snake, and the other for a customer. Yeah, if you have the order ID and you want to send that to us, either you can just post it in the chat, or if you want to DM it to us, that's fine too. Just let us know where you send it, and Ben can look it up. Let's see. Holding back so many babies. Yeah, I'm sure, especially with Monsoon and Monarch. Paratrooper Python says, what tests are you getting back info for? I believe right now it's for fast testing results. So anything that's not panel tests, right?
That I'll be able to give out today. Yeah. But as far as like the research run, I'll be getting stuff back for lace, for monsoon, for monarch, for paint, for the third line of black pastel, for potentially another line of red stripe, tri-stripe. I mean, a whole bunch of things, stranger, mahogany, all of those we'll be getting more data back on.
Yeah.
Yes, there is at least a third line of black pastel. There potentially could be others, but we do know, both us and up in Canada, the work they've done, we both see Barnhart black pastel, the one we can currently test for, and there's at least one other line that none of us can test for yet. So, so yeah, it's coming. Hopefully this will be the one. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, your stuff is panel. Dang. I would love for a panel test. Normally comes in on, what does that normally come in on, like Wednesdays or like later in the week?
It depends on, so I do know updated thing with that is the panels will go out to the sequencing place on Monday. So I'll get results back on Tuesday, and it usually takes me a couple of days to get through everything. So probably the middle. So yeah, next Thursday, if you don't have results yet, next Thursday, unless something pops up or if there's a problem with the run on Monday, as long as things go well, next Thursday I should be able to give people out live panel results if y'all want to.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I have them already out, so.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to do panel test results.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Leviathan, that's part of what I will get back in the next week or two. I will get back actually your samples are some of the furrow samples that I sent on this large sequencing run. So hopefully we'll see where furrow is and be able to give you an answer on that. I don't know yet, but I may after I get that data back in the next week or two.
Cool.
So furrow, Nyala, so they sent some that were both furrow and Nyala. So I'll be getting data back on both of those. Yeah, and mahogany, and see if that's potentially, tied to one of those or whatever. All these different questions we all have. Next week, hopefully next week, the week after that at the latest, I'll have a bunch more data to look at, and it'll take me some time. We'll jump in. Probably monsoon will be the very first thing I'll look at, see if I can pull something out. It'll take some serious time. I'll probably have a couple nights where I don't sleep at all because I'll be playing with all the, it's like maybe Christmas morning for me, and I'll just go for like 8-10 hours straight just playing with things and seeing what all I can find, and getting in trouble with my wife and kids, or not sleeping, or both. But it's always so excited because we do all this work. You all help us. You send these sheds in, and we do all this work, and then we wait for a month or two, or sometimes 3, and then we finally get this giant pile of data back. And so we're always so excited to jump in and see what I'll figure out from it. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we shall see. Yeah, that's a good question, and one we might be able to answer. The only thing that I know for sure from breeding is that it does seem like they make a different, like when you get a mahogany stranger, it doesn't necessarily look like a super mahogany, right? Other people can jump in. But whether it's allelic or not, or, in the same gene or whatever, it seems like it's at least not identical. But whether it's in the same gene or allelic, we don't know that for sure yet. But hopefully after this run, we'll know.
Awesome. Oh, there we go. I think Nyala is mahogany or the same. Don't have any. I just don't think there are any differences whatsoever. There are some mutations that either sometimes that ends up being true, and other times we're like, oh, actually they're totally different, but look the exact same. So time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, we shall see. Oh, I think we both hit it at the same time again.
Oh, sorry.
Sometimes Kayla and I both hit the same thing at the same time, and then which is so yeah. Tommy says she agrees. Yeah, we'll definitely see. I haven't seen enough combos to know for sure. Like from I haven't bred either mahogany or Nyala, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see if it's different or if it's not. We shall see. We'll
Yeah.
also have a cool announcement. I've kind of told some people, but there is another complex where we have a new mutation we know is
Ooh.
its own mutation. I do have a test that works for it. We have animals from multiple people that are this new mutation. They thought it was something else that we already knew about in a complex that we have tests in, but yeah, we've got a new one and a test that works. And so we'll, as we've done the last couple of times, we'll kind of wait till we have 5 or 10 new ones to do all at the same time. But
I don't even think I know about this one.
yeah, that one I just got the fast tests figured out. Should have that working and sent to Texas. So by the time we announce another 5 to 10 that are ready to go, that one will be there. But we'll definitely do an episode or two on that. That's kind of fun. I guess we'll have to figure out how to name it, who gets to name it, or I don't know how to do that, but that'll be fun. It'll be a brand new thing that does kind of look like something that we've all known about for a long time, but it is not the same. It's in the same gene, but it's not close. Like, some of them that look similar, the mutations are fairly close to each other, but in this case, they're in very different parts of the gene. And so it's pretty interesting.
Ooh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, fun stuff.
That'll be the first one that we've had that's like the first one we've developed a test for, and also it's a brand new gene in general. So
yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Let's see.
All right, so is BlackRock Ball still on here?
Oh yeah. BlackRock.
So I will send you an email, Kayla, and you can put this up.
You got it.
Because they've got a bunch of results.
Oh, I'm so excited. Let's go.
Oh, that did not.
Oh, he's here.
Good. What I have is kind of messy, though. Let me format this a little bit more. Sorry, y'all, but we'll have a whole bunch of results for John to check out.
All good. Hey, Ball Stars. Yes, we are working on a lace test. Hopefully next week we should be getting a new round of data from that. I think Disco Vanilla, that's also, is that going to be in the next round of testing as well, Ben?
I will have more data for both Disco and Vanilla, yes.
Nice.
So whether we'll get it or not, we'll see, but I'll definitely have another chance at it.
Hey, Rage Games. Good to have you on. I'm glad you were able to catch the stream. Are we planning to work on Lori/Het Red Axanthic? We have the Het Red Axanthic test, but is Lori...
it's not, the test isn't ready yet. That's one we've worked on.
Oh, sorry. That was my bad.
Yeah, we got Huffman, which is similar and in the same gene. But yeah, we are working on Het Red Axanthic and Lori. I don't have a clear answer whether those are identical or whether it's kind of like Black Pastel and Barnhart Black Pastel. But that too will be, I think it was Scale Envy sent me some Loris that are definitely on this run. I'm getting data back from in the next week or so. So,
ooh, sorry about that. Yeah, no, I just do the social media. Okay, I have the tests pulled up. Do we want to?
I guess, John, do you want us to put all of that up publicly, or do you want us to send it to you first? I don't want to put it up there unless we know he for sure is good with us doing that.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to just, ask about a few and we can tell you live. But however you want to do it, John, just let us know.
Yeah. Like, this is a lot of data.
Yeah. Yeah. So while he's answering that, what he did do a bulk test with us.
Mhm.
Either way is fine.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's talk about the
The
bulk
bulk
test,
test?
Kayla.
Yeah.
You want to pull that up really quick, and John, we'll do yours right after we talk about this.
Yeah. So on our website now, we do have like there's actually a button that you can click. Like it's just a whole bulk order tab. So you click up here, it'll lead you to this page. You'll see a whole bunch of baby pythons. And how to get started. We now have a template that you can use. If you have 25 or more tests that are going through, even if it's like 5 animals that you're doing 5 tests on each, that's fine. It'll give you a Google Sheets template, and then I'll share this. You can choose one of 2 options here on this template. Either if you know exactly what you want to test for, you can fill out this data. You have examples, yellow belly, gravel clown, etc. The date it happens, and basically you just fill this out. And you can purchase these you can purchase any number of genes ahead of time, these mutations ahead of time, or sex determination tests. You can do it that way too. Or if you know exactly what you want to test, you can do it that way as well. So this is a much simpler way to do that. And you can just fill out the sheet, email it back to raregeninc@gmail to Sean, and we'll get you a quote. So we're trying to streamline the process for making your bulk orders, because before we just said to email Sean, but this is basically making it easier for you to give us the information that we needed. So with that being said, BlackRock Balls did exactly this, and we have their data now. So let's move over to the live tests.
Yep, pop it up there. And while you're bringing that up, we did have someone, Tehran, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Zvili. He says hi from Israel. I don't think
hey,
someone from Israel before, or at least
I don't think so. No,
where they're from. So
yeah, good to see you.
Yes.
All right,
John. There's a bunch there.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll keep scrolling down. So it looks like the IDs are just like based on hatch date.
So the thing that happened there, John, if you just put like 23 dash blah blah blah, then the Excel sheet automatically changed it over to a date.
Oh,
down
gotcha.
Below, there's ones I think you put 2023, and that kept those. So like that animal number for the first time, that's 23 dash, was that 9 dash 5? It's so small on my phone I can't see it, but
sorry.
But yeah, down below, like if you scroll down some, I think you put 2025 and 2024. Those ones that kept the format, so it make better sense. But the other ones, you'll have to kind of translate it. It's like John popped on right as we were about to go live and said, "Hey, I've got stuff from my group purchase, my bulk order. Could we put that up?" So I tried to hurry and put it together, and it messed up the formatting for your animal IDs, but
that's okay. Looks like it should still be fairly simple to parse out.
Yes, and I'll email it to you as well, John.
All right. Oh, the not a negative for hurricane is rough.
Yeah.
But ooh, het clown.
And lots of asphalts.
Yes.
Wasn't a lot of yellow belly, but there's a lot of asphalt. So I don't know if they were asphalt or yellow belly, and you just got really lucky on the asphalt side, but you got lots of asphalt, so that's cool.
Got a rerun in there. That's fine. GHI lesser hypo clown. Hypo homozygous. Cool.
But yeah, let us know if you have any questions, John.
Yeah. Oh, apparently if you put an apostrophe in front of the number, it won't change it to a date. Oh.
Good to know.
Yes.
I just always put 20 in front of it. If it was just 24, I put 2024, but I didn't have time on this one.
Right.
But the apostrophe, that's good to know.
Ooh, Het acid, 2 of them.
Yes. Acid's always good to have.
Yeah. Homozygous G-stripe.
All right, John, I emailed it to you also, but Sean probably sometime today, since those results are there, he'll probably update those in your sheet, so you'll have it with your order number or your animal IDs not changed into dates.
Hey, look who's here. Hi, Sean.
I've texted you both on your phone, and I'm in the message on the side, like, I'm here. I can talk about the spreadsheet.
Sorry.
Yeah, my phone is in
here.
mode.
Hi, Sean. Yeah, no, I got it like 2 minutes ago.
I'm sitting here eating my sandwich, like, I can talk about this if you want me to.
Yeah. I guess.
Hey, do you want me to talk about the spreadsheet real quick?
Yeah.
Just so that everybody can understand.
Brief, but I guess you saw our brief intro.
I saw part of it. Yeah, I saw part of it. I'm working my day job. This is my day job office. Very professional. So
it's beautiful.
And Sean's been putting the work in to update our website, a lot of work in, and we've had some help from some very skilled people. And anyway, this is a big addition to that, is just making it much easier for people to do these bulk orders. But yeah, we'll let Sean talk about it.
Yeah, the new site's going to be badass, for lack of a better phrase. The genes page in particular is going to be pretty cool.
Yes, I'm so excited.
It should list not only the gene and what it does, obviously, but it'll have listings of people that have sent us sheds to help us develop the tests. We'll have a running banner. If you've got a logo, can put your logo on the banner as like a thank you if you helped develop the test for that gene. We'll have a test grade, which will tell us, hey, look, this is an A+ rated test. We've run several thousand at this point, and it has a scientific paper attached to it, and it's a rock solid test, all the way down to C grade tests, which this test works really well and tests 99% or better, but we've only run a few hundred, and until we run several thousand, we're just telling you that it works, but there could be more going on, and we just don't know what we don't know. So it's going to be pretty neat for people to be able to go in and actually learn more about each of these individual tests, see who helped us develop them by sending in sheds, who actually found the initial one. I mean, we're going to link to other people who actually found some of these tests, like all the albino work by Dr. Seidel, things like that. So it's going to be pretty cool. But the bulk order page is one of the things that's working right now. So I've been doing this now for about a year. We're going on just about a year. We've got about 70 different people with running bulk order sheets. The way this has worked in the past is they would tell you to email me, and I would send you a link to a spreadsheet that I created with all of your information in it. It evolved over time into what you see today, which is, if you could bring it up for me real quick. There are basically 2 ways to order bulk orders from us. The first, and the one that won't save you quite as much, but will still save you some money, is option 1, and down there in the bottom right. Option 1 is, you just tell me that you need 100 test credits, or 200 test credits, or 50 test credits, or 25 test credits, or whatever. There's a percentage off based just off the number of tests that you purchase, but you don't necessarily know what you're going to need ahead of time. So you just figure you're going to need 100 over the next year or whatever. You buy 100. I put the credits on your sheet, and we're done. Option 2 is the better way to save money. Option 2 is, if you already know what tests you're going to need on which animals, the best thing for you to do is to add your animals to this sheet along with the genes that they need tested. Please use the format that we give you. It makes it easier for me and my staff to keep everything flowing smoothly. And it's relatively simple. If I know which tests that you need run on which animals ahead of time, I can do them for you more cheaply. And the way that I do that is I go on to Morph Market, and 2 test animal on Morph Market is $65 already. Right. Well, you're already at an average of what, $32.50 at that point. So if you extrapolate that out to 100 animals or 50 animals, and they've each got 3 tests, you're going to be at a pretty good discounted rate per gene already. And then I'm going to discount it again. So that's the best way to do it. But again, you can definitely save money over just straight purchasing on Clutch or Morph Market, but you have to have a minimum of 25 genes. If it's anything less than that, I would appreciate it if you went back through our vendors. But if it's more than that, if you're a big breeder and you know you've got a lot of babies coming, and you have some idea of what you might need, download this spreadsheet, fill it out, email it back to me, and then I will create it as a permanent working document between the two of us, and I will send you a link back that basically is our shared document. Every time I update a result, every time you add an animal, it will also go on there. Now, one of the other things I wanted to say about bulk orders, and for you guys, you two don't know that I've been doing this, but I've been doing it for a couple months. There are lots of you that have been ordering bulk orders, and you're on your third, fourth, fifth, or sixth bulk order now. In those cases, the first time you bulk order from us, you really need to pay for the whole thing ahead of time. It's a little bit painful, but once we develop a relationship and you learn how our process works, I'm basically doing running bulk sheets for people. You don't have to pull together 25 or 30 sheds anymore. You just start adding stuff to your bulk order sheet and let me know, hey, Sean, I just updated 2 or 3 animals to the bulk order sheet. I'll put kind of a running price on it, right? And as long as you're kind of keeping up with some deposits once a quarter or once every other month or something like that, then at the end of the year, when you're ready to close out the sheet, I'll go through, discount the whole thing. And if you owe anything in addition to what you've already paid throughout the year, it should be some small fractional amount. We'll close it out for the year and then start another one for 2026. So I've already got 12 to 20 somewhere in there folks that are already doing that with me. So it's just an easier way, again, for you guys. Once you've established how you like the sheet to work for you, you don't have to know all of the tests and all of your animals in advance after the first time you order. You can just add them at your leisure, and then you sort of pay as you go. So that's it.
That's awesome.
Unless anybody has questions, including Ben and Kayla, by the way.
Yeah, I know from Elite Exotics Ball Pythons, John, he said, what's the cost for like 20, 50 versus 100 tests? Like how steep can that go? Can that discount go, I guess?
So it depends on what you're getting, right? 20 Calibra tests and 20 gene tests are different. We've had people order as many as 50 panels before.
Wow.
So it varies quite a bit, but you're looking at, 25 genes, you're probably looking at an additional 10% off over the 10 that you would get from the other 2 vendors already. 50, you're looking at 15 to 20%, depending on which test it is. If it's 100, it's 25% or more, depending again on what you're asking me to test. So it's pretty significant, but that's per gene. That's never going to be as cheap as you sending me what you've got, especially if it's multiple genes per animal, because that you still get the discount on top of the already priced discounts that you're getting through Morph Market. So again, if you have 3 animals, that's 40, 50, 60, 75 bucks, right? Is that right? No,
Okay.
80 bucks. It's 80 bucks for 3 animals, right? What's the average for those 3 animals across $80? So that'll be kind of your running price. And then I discount it again, 10, 20, 25, 30% based on how many you're ordering. So I've gotten people as low as $18 before. I did that one time.
Woo.
So yeah, per gene. So it's possible. Is it easy to do? No, you need to know what you need way in advance, and you need a lot of them. But I mean, I'm averaging right now on my bulk orders about 25 bucks a test on average for single gene testing kind of thing. So if you're at 100 tests, you're probably going to be at 27. If you go over 100, then you're going to start coming down 26, 25, 24.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
It works well, but you just need to decide how you want to do it. After your first one that you've paid in advance, we can do a run and gun sheet going forward. You just add a tab and say, hey, I've created a second tab to add animals for the rest of the year. You add 5 animals, send them to me. I'll test them. I'll post the results. And, if the running price at that moment is $500, if you send me $250 or $300 as a deposit, then just keep adding more animals. You're fine. As long as we're going, I'm not going to, invoice you directly every time you add an animal. It's more of an honor system. Send me what you got. I'll test it. I'll post the results for you. And, if you get to where you owe me $1,000, I'll probably be like, hey, please make a deposit on the spreadsheet. It's a working document between us at all times. You don't ever have to save it. You add stuff and I'll see it as you're adding it. So
there you go.
It's a really seamless, perfect, smooth way to do this.
That's awesome.
Very cool that Sean's willing to put into the time. That's not a small thing. Like, it's a pretty customized option for customers, and I'm glad Sean's able to do that. And it makes it very convenient for you all. If you're not sure how many you're going to have, but you want to get as good a discount as you can for the year, just send them as you go. And by the end of the year, Sean will be able to see how many you did through that year and what you've paid up to that point, like you said, but that way you get that maximum discount, but you don't have to like guess, I'm going to do 20 clowns and 10 pieds and 15 of this, that. Like, you'll get that discount as deep as Sean can give it to you, and it'll be exactly what you needed, because it'll just be after you've already sent them in.
That's the design. I want people to send me sheds an option 2 if they can, because I can give you a better price that way. And the best way to do that is it's difficult, right? You can't ask somebody, hey, I need you to send me 50 sheds with 3 genes each, and you got to know which genes you need tested. Because ultimately what that ended up doing was we'd have to go back and retest things and add genes that, would help them sort out puzzles and whatnot. In this case, we can just go back and add it on the fly, and it's easier. I'll keep a running price of what you would pay if it was Morph Market or Clutch, right? And as long as you're keeping pace with that at some level, if it says this is $1,000 worth of product on one of our 2 vendors, if you've sent me $500 as a deposit, we're good. Just keep sending me sheds. Once we get to 1,500, I'll put a note that says, hey, please send another deposit, when you get a chance. I'm not going to bang your door down or call you and annoy you. This is really just a way for you guys to get the best possible deal and not feel pressured to send me 25 sheds all at once. You can send me 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time, 1 at a time. Really, it doesn't matter. It's your stamp and your envelope. And we'll update them as quickly as we get them. So all of our sponsors operate this way, and some of the very first bulk order people now are doing this exact thing. We have people that are on like 5th and 6th tab with me now, where we're doing so many animals for them that they just create a new tab and we close it at the end of the day, because they know by the next quarter they're going to have a whole nother tab. So this doesn't have to be an end of the year thing. It can just sort of be, when your baby season's over and don't think you're going to be sending us much more for the year, you just tell me you want to close it out. I'll price it with the best price I can give you, whatever the balance is versus what you've paid us. And the payments will be listed, by the way, on the spreadsheet. Every time you make a payment, I'll be putting it on the spreadsheet as a note with the date and how it was paid and all that stuff. So there'll be a running total of what you owe versus, and it's not even what you owe. There'll be a running total of what you've paid versus what you would owe if you were buying it through Morph Market or Clutch. But it's going to be a way better deal when you tell me to close it out. And then I'll calculate all the numbers and be like, okay, you paid 800, you owe us, 900, and we're good. Something like that. So, but we prefer the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 orders. So if you guys could do that, that'd be great too.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's really astronomical how different the pricing is for us to get stuff run. If we only have 10 to 100 to run, in a span of time we're doing stuff, versus 1,000 or 10,000, like our cost per test to get you those results goes down drastically, sometimes exponentially. So it really does help us a lot. The more volume that's coming through, the better deal we can give you all. And these prices Sean's talking about right now, by the end of the year, they might be even better. We don't know. It just depends on the volume. If we have even more people, now that we're adding corn snakes and, some of these other species, if we get more volume coming in, that means by the end of the year, when we're closing out these kinds of running totals, we might be able to do even better than what we're saying now. We don't know. It depends on, how much volume's coming through, but that makes a massive difference for us.
Yeah. I do want to
go ahead.
I was just saying, like, slightly off topic, but I was looking at like the results. Poor BlackRock balls. Yeah, no, his oh my gosh. Poor, like, all the ODs. It's like mostly negatives and a few heads.
Yeah, I think a couple.
I'm sorry.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, BlackRock. But now you know if that affects your breeding or selling plans. So
you only would have gotten killed had you bred all those that were negative for OD. Now you know.
That's fair.
That's what I tell everybody. Now you know what not to breed, so you won't get killed next year.
Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, Sean, thank you for explaining that explaining the tab more in detail. I just kind of did like a more generalized one, but That's great.
Yeah. In fact, if you can figure out a way to put our logo on there and make it look nice, or if anybody else can, that would be really cool. That's the one thing I didn't really mess with that I'd like to do is put our logo on it, make it a little more professional. But I hope that's not too confusing. If anybody gets on there and thinks that it is, you're always welcome to reach out to me, either Facebook or RareGenInc at Gmail, and I'll walk you through it. But this is basically the spreadsheet that we've been using now for the last year to year and a half. It's evolved from basically nothing to this, and this works really, really well. So we went ahead and made it our template, and that's the one that I've been sending out to people for several months now. So you guys please use it, but you need more than 25 genes. Otherwise, we would really appreciate it if you just went through the vendors. That helps us that way too. So, and you still get discounts there. You just get the 10% off after 10 genes, or 15 when it's up to 50, things like that. So
yeah.
Okay, I am actually at my day job, so I have to go. I just thought I would chime in and talk about that a little bit. The new website, I don't know when it's going to go live, but I met with the designer again yesterday, and it's pretty nearly done. We've got the page for the genes sorted out. We're just making it look pretty now. And then honestly, Kayla, you're probably going to get tasked with updating a lot of the information on each of the pages. So,
no problem.
And Ben can help too. I'm not comfortable doing it because I don't know enough. And Ben's going to have to be the one who links all of the scientific papers and stuff, because that's the great thing about the page though, is any one of us can go in and update it at any time as new information happens, or as we test a test enough to where the test grade will upgrade. It's a couple of keystrokes and we can go in and upgrade a test grade on any one of those gene tests that we offer now with relative ease. So
I've done HTML, no problem.
Elite Exotic asks, where do you get the worksheet? It's on our new website. You just have to scroll down and click the button, and it'll send you a copy. Fill that out and then follow the instructions and email it back to me. And I will take your sheet and make it a live document between the two of us and send you a link to click every time you want to add something to it.
Yeah, you just go to our website, raregeneticsinc.com, and right at the top here, there's a bulk order option. Click on that. Scroll down and it'll say download our template, and that's where you click on that, and it'll have you it'll lead you right to a fresh copy of this bulk order template.
We're all reptile keepers too. We know anything we can do to make it cheaper makes a big difference. None of us very few of us become millionaires from this. A lot of us are doing it because we love these animals, and we want to make it as efficient and as cost effective as we can. And thankfully, Sean's put in a lot of work to make that smoother for y'all.
Let's see.
Somebody already sent me one.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys were talking. I already got one.
Was that Silver Scale Exotic?
That's you. I've got one from someone named Michael.
It might be him.
But I think we already have a running doc with Silver Scale. Maybe I'm wrong.
Gotcha. Or maybe they updated it. Loving the fact that there's
I don't see anything from him in my email, so I'm wondering if it's going to spam.
It might be.
Oh yeah, it is Silver Scale Exotics.
Roger that. Okay. Are you wanting to do option 1 and pick up some credits, or option 2, where you list the animals that you want done? Just as an example for everybody who's listening, right? That's the first question I'm going to ask you. So if you don't write it on the spreadsheet when you send it to me, I'm going to send you an email and say, which option are we doing? Because I can't quote you price on your spreadsheet unless I know that's what you want for number of credits. Oh, logo. He sent me a logo spreadsheet. Okay, hold on. Let me open it and look at it.
Ooh, awesome. Yeah, if you want to share it, Sean, you should be able to click like present on your screen, and then
it didn't work, Michael. Yeah, I have a big black square in the top left-hand corner of that doc right now. You probably have to send it to me as a shared document, maybe. So you probably have to save it to a Google file and then add my email address as someone who can edit it. And then if I can see it, then I can save it and make it part of the template.
There you go.
But
I'm just shoot in here real quick, Leviathan. We will show your pictures. I emailed them to Kayla, so she'll be able to pull those up here in a minute when we're done talking about the sheet. Don't worry, Leviathan, and people that wanted to see those pictures of.
Okay, I'm out, guys. I feel like I'm taking too much time, especially if Leviathan's supposed to be in here. So.
No worries.
Actually, I got it.
Oh, pictures, by the way, not just Python. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say they've been having a conversation about Nyala and Mahogany. And so I was just going to let them know, yeah, we will put the pictures up. But
pictures. I need pictures for the website, guys.
yes.
If you guys have good, high quality photos, not just of ball pythons, man, send me of all kinds of reptiles. I'd love to have them. I mean, we have a lot of just like random stuff, but I mean, I've got some cool ones from like some cool chondros like Bill Stegall's chondros and some other stuff that's going to look great on the website. If you have some good images that you'd like us to share, particularly of specific morphs, send me photos of those animals for the morph updates with your logo on the photo, and it'll become a permanent part of our page. It's a way for you to advertise your business. So, you know, if you've got an animal that's a pied whatever, you know, but it's mainly a pied representation and it's a really high quality photo with your logo on it, send it and I will put it in the gene page.
Yeah.
And you'll get that thumbs up credit. It's no different in Morph Market right now. If you go to Morph Market to the Morphopedia, all of the submitted photos, a lot of them have logos from you guys. Well, there's no reason we don't do the same thing. I mean, it's the least we can do to help advertise your business is to post the pictures of your animals, but they have to be good, clean, consistent photos of your animals. The ones with logos I can put on the gene page. If you have some without logos, that's okay too. I can use those on the other pages just as general artwork for the page. So please send me photos when you get a chance. Okay, I really have to go to work now. You guys doing great work, but I'm really busy. Bye, everybody. It's good talking to you.
Sean. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Bye.
All right. So I have the, where did I hide those photos? I have my stuff together, I promise. You know what? We're going to do it this way. Here. There it is. Okay.
All right. So Leviathan and Geeked and anyone else talking about it in the chat. Here are the pictures. So this is is it a Nyala or a, yeah, that's a Nyala clown, right? And then a Mahogany clown.
Nyala Cypress clown and a Cypress Mahogany clown. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just kind of showing a picture.
Yeah. Oh, Claymore Reptiles. Yes. Rare Gen Inc. Rare Gen Inc. at Gmail. There we go.
Yes.
Thank you. Single morphs, morph combos, just good representative pictures. Or just really nice pictures that we can use for general pictures on our website.
Yes.
But yeah, so for these pictures here, between like the Mahogany versus Nyala, can a ball python person explain what they're looking at?
Well, I guess what they're kind of talking about in the chat is that Nyala and Mahogany, some people feel strongly it's the exact same thing. So what Leviathan was sending these pictures for is just to kind of show, and that's kind of, you know, part of the discussion and wondering until we get the DNA back and know for sure. But, you know, is this difference between these two, is it variation of the same mutation, or is it two different mutations that are similar but not exactly the same, you know? Right.
I could, just from a ball python, more of a layman perspective, I could definitely see it just being variation. I mean, the colors, like, is so would the difference be just pattern, or there's one list that I'm more market right now that sits right between both of these animals.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, where you're pulling, you see how much more white there is coming off the belly on the Nyala one, that, and then the pattern, the lateral pattern coming down the sides is pulled up a lot higher.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty big pattern and color difference. But, you know, there's times where I've had Mojaves and stuff like that, you know, have some variation with that, you know, how far up the white. Spiders, the other one, like how far up the white goes, calico, the amount of white you get. So it's tough because there, at least for me, I haven't seen a lot of Nyalas. It's still a fairly, you know, rare mutation or rare morph. So to know for sure just from what's out there, I think is difficult. And that's why there is this conversation, because we don't know for sure, you know, one way or the other. Some of them, like yellow belly and ultramel, we had no idea there were 2 different mutations because they look the same. Others, phantom and mystic, people thought for sure those were 2 different things, but we found out that they're the exact identical mutation. Same with lesser and butter. So we really don't know for sure until we, get down to the mutation level and know exactly what it says in the DNA code, whether these are 2 mutations in the same gene, whether they're identical mutations that cause both these things, or it even could be like axanthics where it's 2 different mutations on 2 different genes on 2 different chromosomes, but they look very similar. All of those are possible. Obviously, the last one we don't see very often, so that's less likely, but we'll see.
Yeah. That'll be exciting to find out too once we get more of this data in.
Yes.
So that's cool. Gorgeous animals, both of them. Let's see.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see. Tyrion is asking, is there a chance of additional gravel lines between Europe and the US?
Certainly is possible. I'm not aware of any situations where someone felt very confident they had a gravel and it tested negative. But on the other hand, we do see that with asphalt. There seems to be at least one other line of asphalt, the RK line of asphalt, that does test negative both for asphalt and for gravel. But if you happen to have or know someone that has a gravel that's tested, they feel very confident it's a gravel or something similar to a gravel and it's tested negative, I'd love to get that shed and test it for asphalt and gravel, the other things in the yellow belly complex, and then sequence around there and see if we can find another mutation that would be the explanation for that. It's definitely possible. Since we haven't seen it to this point in the US, I would be surprised if someone has that in the US, but people import things here and there, and certainly could be that it's fairly common somewhere else in the world and we just haven't seen those sheds. So I would love to see it, or if they end up sending them to somebody, one of the researchers in Europe or wherever, all of us, I would imagine, would be very interested. If it for sure looks like a gravel or asphalt type animal but tests negative for all the yellow belly complex tests, we would love to be able to look into that deeper.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Luna Summer, thanks for joining.
Hey.
We are talking about a little of everything.
And FOTO.DMP says, I've been getting results next day after receiving shed. I love hearing that. Glad those are coming back to you quick. We're doing our best to do that in the majority of the time. It doesn't always happen, and like we said on Monday or on Tuesday's show, this week, people that were expecting to hopefully get results on Thursday or Friday this week, they might get it a day or 2 later because Allie's on vacation. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm very happy to hear that. FOTO.DMP. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, by the way, short business thing. For the remainder of March, so we only have about 4 days left for our all axanthic special. Some people have been getting some cool results on that. For those of you who aren't aware of it, basically you're getting a buy 2 get 3 deal. So $65, get 3 tests, and you just have to write all axanthics on the bag after paying for 2 of them on either of our vendors, and then write all axanthics on the bag, and we'll run all 3, help you figure out which axanthics you're working with. Hang on, I had my life together, I promise you guys. Someone sent us, there we go. All right, it's official. There, right side there, from Pammy Little Python. It's official. Our axanthic line is TSK. So some people are figuring out which lines they're working with, and also just appreciating this adorable picture of JLP Morphs watching the episode where they joined us this past Tuesday. So sweet.
Yes, love seeing their little one on there. She goes to shows with them.
She's so sweet.
Her summit shows. Yeah. We'll have to have her come on the show sometime.
Yeah. There's another one where Sugar Hill was testing het VPI Xanthics. I love that picture of the from Ember's Ball pythons as well. Poor mama.
Yeah, that's a good bull wrap.
Yes, it is. Puzzle combos from Dark Cloud Reptiles. Love to see it.
Yes.
Let's see. From Matt, any chance you guys are interested in trying to sort out the dozens of different genetic granite type genes? Many look the same, but so many different names. I guess he's talking about like various species.
No, even in just ball pythons, there's several that are granite type of mutations. Yeah, certainly very interested, but I do believe that will be a very complex question. So probably not something we're going to tackle right now. We would need probably 30 or 40 sheds from each type that you would want us to be able to tell apart.
Yeah.
So it would be a lot of sheds. And I don't know how rare some of them are. There might not even be, 40 individuals. But yeah, there's no reason for you to not start sending in stuff. Just make sure you do a good job of saying on there, this is a granite type mutation. Here's the name. And these all have that same, they all visually look like they have that same mutation. And even if we don't do it, in the next month or two or a year or whatever, the sheds, like I have sheds that I've kept, I think we're close to 8 years now. And every once in a while I'll pull one out and run it. They still work. So go ahead and send them in well labeled. And, if we don't get to it in the next month or two or 6 months or next year, whatever, whenever we do have enough sheds, if we already have yours here, then we can throw them in as well. So
yeah,
that'll be a tough one.
For sure. Also, look, Mothman has been just sitting here in my left hand for well over an hour now, and he's still just doing the perfect ball python impression. He's so good.
Chill, dude.
He is. I hope that, like, he's super chill. His big purple girlfriend is a pisser. So I think their kids are going to be completely normal. Personality-wise, anyway.
That'd be good if they meet in the middle.
Exactly. Let's see. From Thomas Romano, I want to collab on sequencing genomes for super dwarf retics. Studied molecular cell biology at UIUC. Cool.
Yeah, that's something we'd be interested in. Probably the best thing would be to send that same email. Gen Inc. Or if you send it as a message to Facebook, or just say, hey, talk to Ben on the live about potentially working together on retic sequencing, retic sequencing, and we can link up online somehow and talk some details. Obviously there will be lots of details for that, but yeah, it's something we're interested in. We've talked to multiple retic keepers about doing something like that, and haven't gotten enough sheds in to start doing that yet, but
it would be cool.
Yes.
Let's see. Robert Whittier, coaches Royal Reptiles. I emailed an interesting photo. Which email did that go to?
So Robert, if you send it to what's your email, Kayla?
Mine is here.
Rare Genetics Inc. Social, is that what?
Rare Genetics Social at Gmail.
Rare Genetics Social.
Yep.
So yeah, anyone, if you have a cool thing when we're doing a live, if you email it to Kayla, she's the one that can pull it up, while we're right here on the show.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we like interesting photos.
Let's
see. So instead of sending to Rare Genetics Inc., send that to Rare Genetics Social. And then we'll be able to put it up, Robert.
Okay, you just send it to the Rare Genetics Inc. So I guess that would be going to, I think that's your main email, Ben, if you want to forward it my way.
I can't while I'm on my phone. That email is not easy for me to access. That's why it's better to email the social email Kayla or the raregeninc@gmail to Sean.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the raregenetics@gmail, that one doesn't get checked very much.
Oh, that's funny.
So most everything now, especially with the new website, is either get emailed to Sean. I think actually most everything will get emailed to Sean.
It's probably set up to, like, the Rare Genetics Inc. is probably set up to forward directly to Sean, I would guess.
It's not. It's not. You don't want to email there.
Oh no, we should probably update that.
Well,
but I guess with how old that one
gets
is.
used for some things. They're just things that I don't check very often. They're not things that I need to daily check up on. So it's bad if people that have questions, especially if it's customer questions, if you email them, then unfortunately it might be like a week or two before it gets seen. So so you don't want to email that one. It is important for some of the things that it is used for, like ordering and things like that, that I do use it for. But like I said, those aren't things that I have to check daily, so it doesn't get
right. Fair enough. Hey, Soda Balls, good to see you. Let's see. I have some Trojan and Super Trojan sheds coming our way, waiting for one or two more to shed out before I send them. Awesome. Perfect. That'll be great. I think that is one where we need more sheds. So that's great.
Yes. And we do have a question. The FOTO.DMP is asking if we have a test for paint. That's another one we're working on. And we do have results coming, or some more data coming in the next week or two for paint. And then DS Balls and at Exotics on IG is asking where we're at with Burmese testing. So corn snakes were the first other species we started working on. Next, we will be doing some other colubrids, but we will also be doing some other pythons as well. So definitely in 2025, I'm hoping in the next 3 months, 4 months, something like that. Sorry, I got to fly. Hopefully we've got some more results for some of the other python species also, including Burmese.
Okay, I got the forwarded image from, just got that. So
honey test, we do have some samples that we believe are honey. We have very few honey samples that have been sent in. And so we don't know for sure yet on honey. We may have an answer here fairly soon. But if you know someone that has worked with honey for a while, has a few, and could send us, a few more, if we could get 2 or 3 or 4 more honeys from like 3 or 4 or 5 more people, that would help us really solidify and know for sure if we're seeing the right thing.
Yeah. So from Robert Whittier, he sent this picture of really pretty snake, and it says here, how about an allelic combo of HRA NG? Looks like it's black backed. The genes are allelic, and you don't see a bunch of them. The pairing to produce this girl was HRA het VPI xanthic to a cinnamon NG fire. So I know there's Cinny or NG in every baby, and if this isn't Cinny, or it would be a gargoyle, this line of HRA, the black back is strong. I can send more pics from the project.
Very cool. Yeah, and send sheds too. Once we do have an HRA test, we do already have cinnamon and enchi, but once we have an HRA test, we could see, if it seems to be testing the same as everything else, or if there's something different.
Yeah,
we would be interested. DS Balls and Exotics is asking, do we need sheds? They have pretty much everything. I would assume that's for Burmese. Yes. DS Balls, we would love to get sheds, and Kayla can pop up that graphic. Any of you that have either morphs we don't have a test for, or sex for a species that we don't already have a sex determination test for, or like with the Burmese, they're morphs that we don't have tests for yet. Definitely send in sheds. The more we have, the faster we can get stuff done. It all is 100% because of the sheds that you all send in. So we'd definitely would love to have more Burmese morph sheds, known morph sheds, and even mark on there the sex as well. That way we can use it in developing sex determination. We like to have sex determination tests for as many species as we can.
Of course. Yeah, and you don't need to send a whole shed. I know with the giant species, especially once they're large, they kind of shed in patches, uh, and not necessarily one big shed. So just literally send us a patch that has not been soaked in water. Like once it comes off the snake, just save a patch that's just like the size of the one in the picture. Let it dry for a little bit, and then you can send it in with all of the info listed there. And either you can jot down the address that's listed at the bottom left of this image, or you can just go to raregeneticsinc.com/help. And that's another way you can get that information for when you need to mail it off. But yeah, I'm especially excited for for the giant species mutation tests for people who, I know it's complicated for people who want to breed them, because on one hand, it's harder. I feel like they can be harder to sell because of how large the babies get. But now when you're going for crazy morphs, now you know exactly what you're going to be breeding, which makes it that much easier to do so in a way that's not like producing a bunch of normals, which is helpful, producing what you want to. So I'm really excited for that for the giant species.
Yes, that'll be good.
Yeah. From Mivarak. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have a couple breeding questions. So do the males produce sperm in quantities like humans and other animals? I feel like that's more of a, I feel like it's different when you're talking about like mammals versus reptiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go out in the wild with an ultrasound, or you could even pop and kind of see what kind of a plug or sperm sample you could get from males. But if you have an ultrasound, that's even better. They have some small ones you can take out into the field that are on a battery. But if you go out and you ultrasound wild males at different times of the year, you're going to actually see the testes size change dramatically. So
Whoa.
part of the year where they're not breeding, the testes will be much smaller than during the part of the year where they're actively moving and searching and finding females. The testes will be much larger. So in humans specifically, there's not really that yearly cycle of high production and then ramping that down. There's much more of a yearly cycle with many reptile species, not all. Some are more likely, probably the closer to the equator they are, the more you may see it be like a continual or similar size of the testes. But
Interesting.
when you get away from the equator and there's kind of this yearly, whether it's water, like sometimes it'll be like the rainy season that will cycle animals if they are by the equator. The water cycle actually might cause them to do yearly things with reproduction. Not that the day changes, but that the amount of water changes, and that evolutionarily makes it so that the animals want to reproduce at a specific time to give their babies the best chance of living. But as you move away from the equator, it's more likely to be daytime, the length of the day, and then also the temperature. Obviously, shorter the days, also the colder it is overall. So places like that with reptiles, especially snakes are what I've studied by far the most. And when I was a graduate student, I was a reproductive biologist. I was studying reproduction. So I was always looking at snake reproduction stuff, reading papers. But yeah, you will see a pretty big difference in testes size depending on the time of the year.
That's so interesting. I actually didn't know that either. That's cool. I know that you were talking about how close they are to the equator versus being farther away. That kind of makes me think about how, in the colubrid land, when we're talking about broodmating animals, I've noticed that people who, for some folks, they've tried doing cycling their animals, like humidity cycling and, of course, daylight cycling, as opposed to just using temperature and brumation. And I tried that this year, and I've actually had a lot more of like a breeding response in my male rat snakes and hognose. Granted, it's a case study of 3 animals basically, but I have noticed that like I'm seeing them like like smear sperm plugs on things more, and they're a lot more active, less likely to eat, not just because he's a hog nose. It's like he doesn't feel like it right now because it's mating season for Mothman. But I feel like that definitely, I mean, maybe it's not as, it doesn't make as much sense, but like if their testes are taking up more of their body, that might make sense. It's like, well, no, I don't feel like, kicking my digestive system into gear right now because I've got other stuff taking up space in here.
Yeah.
Um,
They've got other stuff on their mind for sure.
yeah. Interesting. Trying to think, like I know other species do exhibit like sexual swelling in the testes, like squirrels. I've noticed being working in rehab twice a year, we'll notice in male squirrels when they come in, we're like, Jesus Christ, buddy, you're carrying a lot there. And then the rest of the year it's like much more reasonable. But I guess it's an advantage being cold-blooded. They don't have to worry about having their reproductive organs on the outside for sperm production. So very handy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had a few more questions in IG about sheds to send in, and
yes,
as always, I just keep saying yes to everything.
Of course. Well, yeah. That's kind of the answer. If we don't test for it, yeah, send it in. All of the above.
Yes, keep those sheds coming.
Yeah.
Did we have any more graphics we wanted to bring up today?
Let's see. I have just like some general stuff, but I think we covered of course, one thing we do want to touch on. We're going to Dallas this weekend.
Yes.
Well, Sean will be there in Dallas since he lives nearby. So if you are going to the Dallas NARBC, definitely bring your sheds. That way you don't even have to mail them to us. So if you're going, just bring whatever sheds you have. You can also do scale clippings. And Sean will be collecting those there. Sometimes we also have like our sponsors. They'll sometimes set up a booth, like a little box, and collect sheds at their booths. But if you spot Sean, feel free to throw him your envelope of samples.
Yes.
And of course, as always, make sure you put all of the, label everything right. Put the known information. Make sure it's dry. That way the DNA doesn't denature from the moisture. And I think, yeah, anything else about the Dallas show that you can think of, Ben?
I don't think so. I think, and if you have paid tests and you bring them, they'll probably run them on like Monday or Tuesday. They might kind of be recovering from being at the show for 2 days on Monday, but
probably
they'll likely get run on either Monday or Tuesday. So if you happen to be coming to the show and have paid tests, you want to just bring the sheds to the show. That's another type of shed to bring, and be able to do that. Then you don't have to worry about mailing them in, and you'll know that they have them there in Texas. So
yeah. Especially if you have any of these ball python sheds. These are some that we are focusing down on right now to, complete our complex shed mutation complexes. That's the word I'm looking for.
yes.
To fill those out and also add in genes that we just don't have yet. That's why I thought we already had red axanthic. I kept seeing red axanthic in our things, and my brain was like, oh yeah, we have that. Additional question: is there a minimum recovery time for the male between breeding females to produce more sperm plugs? I'm not sure. Ben studied that though.
I don't remember seeing a publication where they tested that specifically. So I can't tell you for sure. I can tell you that is very well known for species that are like food sources for humans. So like, cattle and chickens and, things like that. Those people that reproduce those species know that very well. But whether that's the case in snakes, I don't know that answer, and I haven't seen that. That's something I can look for, see if I see a scientific paper that's talked about that. I would imagine by now somebody has done some testing on that, but back then when I was a grad student reading a lot of papers, I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah. I do know that like just most people will say they won't really pair a male to more than like 2 or 3 females in a season, just because they seem to have less success with the like 3rd, 4th, and 5th animals. Granted, if Buddy is, if you've got a male who is just gung ho and lock after lock, then I mean, you can give it a shot, but I don't know. I'm not really sure about like how that's just mostly things that I've heard in the hobby across snake species over the last few years. So not really sure. Mothman is finally beginning to wiggle after about an hour and a half of sitting in my hands. Oh, never mind. He stopped again.
Jake's Exotic Balls on IG says, I'm excited to see what all in the 8-ball complex is the same or if they're all different. As far as ARA, Lori Green Pastel are the same. Yes. That'll be a fun question to be able to answer. And hopefully we're not too far from it. But not just us working on it, other people are too. So
yeah,
so we're getting close. But yeah, any other last questions, fire them in. And unfortunately, I got to move on and do some other things today, but it's definitely been fun talking with y'all. Lots of good questions today.
Yeah. Another one from Mivarak. I've also had locks that lasted 30 minutes and some 24 hours. I've never seen the 24-hour ones, but I've seen the like 30 minutes to an hour, more or less. In my
ball pythons definitely like to stay locked, sometimes for 2 or 3 days.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I told you, they're very lazy breeders compared to boa. A little bit of boa and colubrid stuff I've done.
Yeah.
They're much more active breeders, but they don't do it as long. But yeah, ball pythons, I'll have them locked for 3 days straight sometimes.
Shoot, like I want to give them a newspaper or like a Game Boy or something while they're in there.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of laying there. They just stay there. They don't really move much. You'll see some, like before they lock, I've seen some spurring and some different things. But once they're locked, sometimes they'll sit in the same position for hours and hours.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of, I guess my one boy stayed locked for 4 full days. Jeez. Yeah. That is wild.
We do have a couple other questions in Instagram. Will's Hella Heat says, how long before paint sentinel testing? That's one we are getting more data back either this week or next week. So hopefully this will finally be the time. That's one we've been working on a long time. But yeah, we'll see. We're definitely getting closer, and this might be the time. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Bull Python 44 says, how much does it cost to test one snake to see if your super orange dream and het hypo? So if you have 2 different tests you want done on the same animal, we do give you a discount on that second test. So the first one now would be $40, regardless of which one you choose. That first test is $40, but then the second test is only $25. So if you wanted to get 2 different tests, in this case, the orange dream test and the hypo test, that would be $65 right now. And we're working hard as we get more volume coming in, like we talked about earlier in this episode. As we get more volume coming in, we hope to bring those prices down. But right now, that's where they're at. And, whether we'll be able to drop prices again will just depend on how many people are using the testing. The more people that are using it, the more likely we can bring prices down. But yeah, that. And then another question a lot of people will ask is on the orange dream, will you get an answer whether it's orange dream or super orange dream? And just like with the recessive tests, like with hypo, you'll get 3 different potential answers. Our test will tell you whether it's negative or if it has 1 copy or a het, or if it has 2 copies or is homozygous. Well, with incomplete dominant mutations, the DNA doesn't know the difference. So you actually get the exact same information for an orange dream test. You'll get a result of negative, which is 0 copies, het for 1 copy, or homozygous for 2. So if you get a het result on an orange dream test, that's an orange dream. If you get a homozygous for an orange dream test, that means it's a super orange dream.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. From Snakes and Tanks, any Sterling tests? I actually haven't heard of Sterling.
Sterling for ball pythons, I believe is pastel and either black pastel or cinnamon. I think it's black pastel. I can't remember for sure. But yes, we do have a cinnamon test, and we do have a pastel test. For black pastel, we have 2 different tests. We have the main black pastel line in the US that we can test for, and we do have a Barnhart black pastel test. But there is at least one other, we talked about this earlier in the episode, there is at least one other line of black pastel that we can't test for yet. So yes. Super Cine. Okay. Super pastel. Okay. Yes. So the pastel test and the cinnamon test, if you did those 2, then you would be able to, once again, with the pastel test, if you get a homozygous, that means it's a super pastel. And then the Cine test, you'd get either negative, het, or homozygous. That's negative, cinnamon, or super cinnamon.
Cool. And I guess last question before we call it a day, from Patricia Cooper. What if a shed is soaked in water for a short time, like 2 hours? Should I wait till I get a shed that didn't? It's stuck shed. It's stuck shed season.
Yes.
Yeah.
So stuck sheds are actually kind of a good thing for genetic testing. Obviously, you don't want to purposely dry your snakes out, but if you end up getting a stuck shed situation, what I would go for is some of that stuck shed that's nice and dry. And remember, we just need a small piece. We say the size of a quarter, but even if what you send us is like 2 or 3, little pieces that you pulled off that are really dry because you've got a bad shed, stuck shed. If there are 3 little pieces that, would maybe cover a dime, that's still plenty of shed for us. If the whole shed was shed into the water bowl and you're pretty sure you're catching it in the first hour or 2, what I would do is take it out of the water bowl and flatten it out and set it somewhere that's very dry in your house. I wouldn't put it right by like a heating vent. You don't necessarily want to do that, but just like somewhere in your house where it's very dry, and let it sit for a day, and then just kind of look at it. I've seen thousands and thousands of sheds now, so I have a good eye for it. I can usually tell by looking at it if that shed looks degraded. So if you can, kind of compare it to a fresh shed. If it kind of looks like a dried out fresh shed still, then it could still work. But if it looks pretty rough, like you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, this is not a freshly shed shed.
Yeah.
That hour or 2, it's going to depend on the temperature and, what else is in that water. Was it, just water, or did it have some, urates or anything else in there? So it can vary quite a bit. But yeah, that's what I would suggest is if the whole thing was in the water bowl, spread it out, put it somewhere to dry. If it looks rough, then it's probably not going to work. If it looks just as good as a fresh shed, it's probably worth trying sending in, but just know you might have to get another shed. But if part of it's in the water bowl and part of it's not, and remember, we only need a small piece. So get the part that's the cleanest and the most dry when you remove it from the cage, and then go set it somewhere and let it dry the rest of the way. And most of the time that works.
Awesome. Patricia says, thank you. I've got it stretched out in a dry area, so I'll see how it looks and feels. Perfect.
Yeah. And
all
Patricia,
right.
You can even send us a picture of it. Send it to our Facebook or Instagram Messenger and just say, hey, I don't know for sure if this is good or not. How does this look? If you give us a decent picture and decent lighting, we might be able to tell just by looking. I don't call it every single time. There's sometimes a shed will come in and like, man, this is really rough, but it still works. And every once in a while, it's less common, but every once in a while there'll be one that comes in and just looks beautiful, but it still doesn't give me anything. So,
hmm
but most of the time, I'd say 80% of the time, I can tell just by looking at it if it's going to give us DNA or not.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks,
Well, sounds
Patricia.
good. Yeah, thank you. All right, guys. I think about an hour and 20, a 20-minute live stream. That's good because we usually shoot for an hour, and we're glad when we can get conversation going for that long. So,
Yes.
yeah, I guess we'll call that a day.
One more fast question from
Yes.
Instagram. Will's Hella Heat says, has the deep line OD tested the same as regular OD? Yes. As far as being OD versus negative or OD, super OD, it seems to test the same for that specific OD mutation. But we are working on both the deep line OD and the high OD, trying to see if there's another marker close by there that would tell us whether it's high OD or deep orange or whatever. But that's going to take longer. That's a longer term project because it's not as simple and easy as the OD part of it. So it does seem like there's something else there that amps it up, to make it look like high D or deep orange, but we have not found that yet. We've got a lot of samples in and we are working on it, but cannot test for that part of it yet. But yes, the OD part of it, deep orange OD and super OD seem to test the same. So we can at least tell you that part of it with the OD test.
Yeah.
All right. That's all of them.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks again for joining us. Glad we were. Honestly, I think we probably had more people this week than last week. So that's good.
Yeah. Grown
All
each
right.
week. That's awesome.
We love it. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday, I guess, for our next episode of Reptile Genetics Weekly. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. See you guys. Bye, Mothman. Such a good boy.